glow started small, just a faint light where Sarah's hand touched the commander's crystal skin. But within seconds, it grew brighter, spreading up both their arms like liquid starlight. Healer Vextai stepped back in shock. What is happening? The light reached their hearts at the same moment. Suddenly, both bodies arched upward as if struck by lightning. The medical machines that had gone silent burst back to life, displaying readings that made no sense. Sarah's eyes opened first. She gasped, feeling air rush into her lungs. But something was different. She could still sense the commander's mind connected to hers, even though the wire crown had fallen away. Sarah, the commander's voice was filled with wonder. We are alive. More than alive, Sarah whispered, sitting up slowly. She looked at her hands and gasped. Faint blue lines ran under her skin, similar to the commander's veins, but much thinner. What happened to us? The commander sat up too. His crystal body still pulsed with blue light, but now there were traces of red mixed in. Human red. I believe we have become something new. Healer Vextai ran his scanners over both of them. His green eyes widened at the results. Impossible. Dr. Chen, you now carry traces of Zethkari genetic code. Commander, your biology has permanently integrated human neural pathways. Sarah felt a rush of emotions that weren't entirely her own. Through their connection, she sensed the commander experiencing human feelings, but they were no longer overwhelming him. Instead, they flowed naturally through his alien biology. We're connected, she realized. Permanently connected. Yes, the commander said, standing carefully. I can feel your thoughts, your emotions. But they do not hurt anymore. They feel right. Sarah stood too, testing her new abilities. She could sense the commander's logical Zethkari mind, but now it was warmed by human emotion. And her own thoughts seemed clearer, enhanced by alien precision. Commander, Vextai interrupted urgently. The destruction sequence has begun. Through the ship's windows, Sarah could see the other alien vessels glowing with deadly energy. Earth hung below them, beautiful and unaware. How long do we have? Sarah asked. 2 hours, the commander replied. But his voice was different now, calmer, more confident. But I believe I can stop them. How? The commander walked to the ship's communication system. My people will listen to me, but they will not understand what I have become until I show them. He activated the ship's transmitters. Instantly, holographic images of other Zethkari commanders appeared around them. They all looked identical, tall crystal beings with cold blue light in their veins. Commander Zethkari, one of them spoke in the glass-breaking Zethkari language. Why have you delayed the destruction sequence? The human doctor failed. You are dead. I am not dead, the commander replied in English, knowing Sarah could understand. I am evolved. The other commanders made sounds of confusion. Sarah could see them noticing the red light mixed with blue in the commander's body. You have been contaminated, another commander said with disgust. The human infection has spread. It is not infection, the commander said firmly. It is growth. Dr. Chen has given me something we have never possessed, the ability to truly live. Sarah watched as the commander explained what had happened. He described feeling emotions for the first time. He talked about love, compassion, wonder, and hope. But the other commanders looked horrified. These feelings you describe are weakness, the lead commander declared. They make you vulnerable, illogical. No, the commander said. They make me complete. Sarah saw the conversation was going badly. The other commanders were preparing to destroy Earth anyway, viewing their leader as compromised. Let me speak to them, Sarah said. The commander nodded and gestured for her to step forward. Commanders of the Zethkari, Sarah began. You came to destroy humanity because you saw us as chaotic and dangerous, but you missed the most important part of who we are. Speak quickly, human, one commander said coldly. Sarah took a deep breath. You saw our wars, our mistakes, our flaws. But did you also see a mother staying up all night to care for a sick child? Did you see strangers helping each other during disasters? Did you see people sacrificing their own safety to save others? The commanders were silent. Those actions seem illogical to you, Sarah continued, but they are what make life worth living. Your commander discovered that truth. He chose to feel rather than just exist. Feelings are chaos, a commander argued. Feelings are connection, Sarah replied. And connection is the strongest force in the universe. To prove her point, Sarah reached for the commander's hand. The moment they touched, something extraordinary happened. The light that connected them expanded outward, flowing through the ship's communication system. Suddenly, every Zethkari commander could feel what Sarah and the commander felt. The bond between two beings who had chosen to trust each other completely. For the first time in their species' history, the Zethkari commanders experienced emotion directly. Sarah felt their shock through the connection. They were feeling wonder, curiosity, and something they had never known existed. The desire to understand rather than destroy. "This is unexpected," the lead commander said quietly. His voice held something new, uncertainty but also interest. "This is evolution," the commander said. "Dr. Chen has shown me that logic and emotion do not have to be enemies. Together they create something stronger than either alone." The lead commander was quiet for a long moment. "Commander Zethkari, do you believe this connection could work for our entire species?" "I believe it could revolutionize how we understand existence itself." Sarah watched as the alien commanders discussed among themselves in their glass-breaking language. Finally, the lead commander turned back to them. "We will not destroy Earth," he announced. "Instead, we propose an experiment. Some of our people will work with yours to explore this emotional connection you have discovered." Sarah felt relief flood through her. Earth was saved. "What happens now?" she asked. The commander smiled. The first truly happy expression she had seen on his crystal face. "Now we learn from each other. Your people teach us to feel. We help your people reach for the stars." 6 months later, Sarah stood in the first human Zethkari medical center on Earth. The building was a marvel of both technologies, alien crystal growth techniques combined with human architectural warmth. "Dr. Chen," her assistant called. "Your next patient is ready." Sarah looked at the file. A human child with a rare heart condition, being treated with a combination of human surgery and Zethkari cellular regeneration. As she walked to the operating room, she passed a window overlooking the city. In the distance, she could see Zethkari ships working alongside human construction crews, building homes that would house families from both species. Her phone buzzed with a message from Emma. "Mommy, my new alien friend taught me how to grow crystals. Can she come for dinner?" Sarah smiled and typed back, "Of course, honey. Tell Vextai I'll make extra pasta." In her pocket, a small crystal device glowed softly. Through it, she could sense Commander Zethkari on the other side of the galaxy, working with a team of mixed human and alien scientists to establish contact with other species. "How are you feeling today?" His voice came through the crystal. "Connected," Sarah replied, "and grateful." "As am I," the commander responded. "Thank you, Sarah, for teaching me that the greatest medicine isn't technology or knowledge." "What is it then?" "Understanding. The willingness to touch another being's life and let them touch yours in return." Sarah looked out at the city where two species were learning to live together and smiled. Sometimes the greatest healing happened not in bodies, but in hearts. And sometimes the most important surgery wasn't about saving a life, but about creating a bridge between worlds. The future had never looked brighter. "Need to start now. But Commander, there's something else." "What?" "If this works, you won't be the same person. Human emotions are powerful. They can be beautiful, but they can also be painful. Love, fear, sadness, joy. You'll feel all of it." The commander looked back at the screens showing Earth. "Dr. Chen, I've spent 3 months watching your species love each other, despite the pain it causes. If that is what it means to be alive, then I choose life." Sarah nodded. "Then let's save your life and my world." As they walked toward the medical bay, Sarah's hands were steady for the first time in days. She was about to attempt the impossible, giving an alien a human heart, not just physically, but emotionally. In 24 hours, they would either celebrate the greatest medical breakthrough in history, or they would both be dead. The surgery of a lifetime was about to begin. The alien medical bay looked like something from a nightmare. Strange machines surrounded the operating table, their surfaces covered in pulsing lights and symbols Sarah still couldn't read. But she had no choice. 12 hours remain before Earth's destruction. Dr. Chen, the procedure is ready, Healer Vextai announced. His green-veined hands moved over the controls with practiced skill. Sarah looked at Commander Zethkri lying on the table. The blue light in his crystal body had faded to almost nothing. His breathing was shallow and weak. Without the surgery, he would be dead in 6 hours. "Commander, are you sure about this?" Sarah asked, taking his cold hand in hers. "I am sure," he whispered. "But Dr. Chen, you must understand what this means for you." Sarah nodded. She had studied the alien medical equipment for hours. The procedure required her to connect her nervous system directly to the commander's brain. Her human emotions would flow into his body, teaching it how to feel. But if something went wrong, "If your heart stops, mine stops too," she said quietly. "Yes, and if my brain cannot handle human emotions, the feedback could kill us both instantly." Sarah squeezed his hand. Through the connection, she felt some of her strength flow into him. "Then we better make sure it works." Healer Vextai approached with what looked like a crown made of thin silver wires. "This will connect your minds," he explained to Sarah. "Once it is activated, there is no stopping the process." Sarah took a deep breath. She thought about Emma, her 8-year-old daughter who was probably having breakfast right now, not knowing her mother might never come home. She thought about the billions of people on Earth who were counting on her. "Put it on," she said. The moment the device touched her head, Sarah felt electricity dancing across her skull. Suddenly she could sense the commander's thoughts at the edge of her mind. "I can feel you," the commander said, wonder in his voice. "Your emotions, they are so bright." Sarah lay down on a second table next to the commander. More wires connected her arms and chest to the alien machines. "Stay calm," she told herself. "This is just another surgery." But as the machines hummed to life, Sarah knew this was unlike anything she had ever experienced. "Beginning neural connection," Vextai announced. Pain shot through Sarah's head like lightning. She gasped and saw stars. Through the connection, she felt the commander experiencing the same agony. "It's working," Vextai said, watching his displays. "Human neural patterns are transferring." Sarah felt her consciousness expanding. Suddenly she could see through the commander's eyes, feel with his crystal skin. His alien body was strange and wonderful, but so different from human biology. "Commander, I can feel your mind," she whispered. "And I can feel yours," he replied. "Your emotions are overwhelming." Through their connection, Sarah felt the commander experiencing human feelings for the first time at full strength. Joy hit him like a wave, followed by fear, then love, then sadness. His alien mind reeled under the impact. "It's too much," the commander gasped. "I cannot process so many feelings at once." Sarah felt his panic through their link. His crystal body began to shake violently. All the displays started flashing red warnings. "His nervous system is overloading," Vextai shouted. "The human emotions are too intense." Sarah's own body convulsed as the commander's distress flooded into her. She felt like she was drowning in an ocean of alien confusion and pain. "Commander, listen to me," she said through gritted teeth. "Don't fight the emotions. Let them flow through you." "I cannot," he replied. "They are tearing me apart." Sarah realized the problem. The commander was trying to analyze each emotion logically, the way his species always processed information. But emotions couldn't be understood through logic alone. "Stop thinking," Sarah told him. "Just feel. Trust the emotions to teach you." "I do not understand." Sarah reached deeper into their connection. She shared not just her current emotions, but her memories. The joy of holding Emma as a baby, the sadness of her father's death, the love she felt for her patients, the fear she experienced every day as a surgeon, knowing lives depended on her. "See," she whispered, "emotions aren't problems to solve. They're experiences to live." For a moment, the commander's mind went quiet. Then Sarah felt something beautiful happen. Instead of fighting the human feelings, he began to accept them. The fear transformed into courage. The sadness became compassion. The love grew into something larger than both of them. "I understand now," the commander said softly. But just as success seemed possible, something went terribly wrong. The machine started screaming warnings. Sarah felt a stabbing pain in her chest. Through their connection, she realized the commander's heart was stopping. "What's happening?" she gasped. "The integration is too much," Vextai said desperately. "His body cannot handle both alien and human neural patterns at the same time." We are losing him. Sarah felt the commander's life force fading through their link. Her own heart began to skip beats as their connection pulled her toward death with him. Dr. Chen, the commander's voice was fading. I want you to know, feeling your emotions has been the greatest gift of my existence. Don't talk like that, Sarah said fiercely. We're going to make it through this. But she could feel it too. The procedure was failing. The commander's alien biology simply couldn't support the full range of human emotions. They had pushed too far, too fast. The displays showed both their life signs dropping rapidly. Sarah, the commander said, using her first name for the first time. Thank you for teaching me how to love. Sarah felt tears streaming down her face. Through their connection, she sensed the commander experiencing his first and last moments of complete human emotion. Wonder, gratitude, love, and peaceful acceptance flowed between them. I'm sorry I couldn't save you, she whispered. You did save me, the commander replied. For these few minutes I have truly lived. The machines went quiet. Both their hearts stopped beating at exactly the same moment. Healer Vextai stared at the flatline displays in horror. They are gone, he whispered. Throughout the ship, alarms began to sound. In orbit around Earth, 50 alien warships powered up their weapons. The automatic destruction sequence had begun. On Earth below, people looked up at the sky, not knowing they had 3 hours left to live. In the medical bay, 2 bodies lay still and silent. The impossible surgery had failed. The greatest love story between species was over before it could truly begin. Or was it? Deep in the silence, something stirred. A faint glow began to emanate from where Sarah and the commander's hands were still joined. The miracle that would save 2 worlds was just beginning. The medical officer made another sound. The commander's eyes closed for a moment. What did he say? Sarah asked. Time is running shorter. My body is shutting down faster than expected. Sarah looked at her watch. Only 60 hours left. Commander, I need you to tell me exactly what happened when you first touched human genetic material. I felt strange, he said. For the first time in my life, I felt what you call emotions, sadness, joy, hope. These feelings are foreign to my people. We are logical, practical, but suddenly I could understand why you cry at movies, why you keep pets, why you help strangers. And your body started rejecting these emotions. Not rejecting, the commander corrected. My body doesn't know how to process them. Zethkari biology has no place for feelings, but human genetics carry emotion in every cell. Sarah studied the scans again. She was beginning to understand. The human DNA is trying to teach your body how to feel, but your alien biology is fighting it because it doesn't understand. Yes, the commander said, and the fight is killing me. One of the medical officers suddenly started making urgent sounds. All the displays began flashing red warnings. What's happening? Sarah asked. My heart, the commander gasped. It's stopping. Sarah watched in horror as the commander's body went rigid. The blue light in his veins flickered like a candle in the wind. The alien medical machine started making terrible alarms. Do something, Sarah shouted at the medical officers. They worked frantically, but nothing helped. The commander's eyes found Sarah's. Touch me, he whispered. Please touch my heart. Sarah didn't hesitate. She placed both hands on the commander's chest. The moment her skin touched his crystal body, something incredible happened. Warmth flowed from her hands into the alien's chest. The blue light in his veins grew brighter. His heart started beating again, but after 30 seconds, the effect faded. It works, Sarah breathed, but only for a few minutes. The commander's breathing was easier now, but still weak. You see why we need human touch, but touching me once will not save my life. Sarah's mind raced. She had 59 hours to figure out a permanent solution. The temporary healing proved that human contact could help, but she needed something more. Commander, she said, I think I understand the problem, but fixing it might change you forever. Are you prepared for that? The commander's glowing eyes met hers. Dr. Chen, if I die unchanged, my people will destroy your world. If I live changed, maybe both our species can survive. Sarah nodded, but deep in her heart, she knew the real challenge was just beginning. She had to find a way to permanently merge 2 completely different forms of life, and she had less than 60 hours to do it. We're going to need a miracle, she whispered. The commander managed a weak smile. Doctor, I believe that's exactly what humans specialize in. Sarah had been working for 12 hours straight. Her eyes burned with exhaustion, but she couldn't stop. Every hour that passed brought Earth closer to destruction. The countdown in her head never stopped. 48 hours left. She looked at the alien medical displays again. The readings showed the same terrible truth. Commander Zethkri was dying slowly, and her temporary healing touch only delayed the inevitable. "Dr. Chen," one of the medical officers said in broken English. "You must rest." "I can't rest," Sarah replied, rubbing her tired eyes. "Every minute counts." The medical officer, who had told her his name was Healer Vextai, moved closer. "Commander's condition is stable for now. You gave him 6 hours of life with your last touch." Sarah nodded. She had discovered that longer contact meant longer healing effects. But even holding the commander's hand for 10 minutes only bought him 6 hours of normal function. "It's not enough," she whispered. "I need to understand why human touch works at all." She walked to the observation deck of the ship. Through the large window she could see Earth below. It looked so peaceful from up here. Blue oceans, white clouds, green forests. 8 billion people had no idea they might die tomorrow. Her phone buzzed. A message from her mother. "Emma asks when Mommy is coming home." "What should I tell her?" Sarah's heart broke a little. She typed back, "Tell her Mommy is helping sick people. I'll be home soon." She hoped it wasn't a lie. "Dr. Chen." Commander Zethkri's voice was stronger now, thanks to her earlier healing session. He had walked to the observation deck too. "You should be resting," Sarah said. "So should you." The commander stood beside her, looking down at Earth. "It is beautiful. Your world. You are going to destroy it," Sarah said quietly. "Yes," the commander admitted. "We thought beauty without logic was dangerous. We were wrong." Sarah studied his crystal face in the reflection of the window. "When you absorbed human DNA, what exactly did you feel first?" The commander was quiet for a long moment. "Wonder," he said finally. "I saw a human child playing with a dog. The child had no logical reason to care for the animal. The dog gave nothing useful in return. Yet they both seemed happy. And that confused you?" "More than confused. It changed something inside me. I wanted to understand that feeling. So I studied more humans. I watched couples hold hands for no practical reason. I saw people cry at movies that weren't real. I observed humans give money to strangers they would never see again." Sarah smiled despite their situation. "We call those emotions. Love, empathy, compassion. Yes, and the more I studied, the more I wanted to feel them myself." The commander touched the window with one crystal finger. "That desire, that wanting, it was the first human emotion I experienced." Sarah's mind began racing. "Commander, when you absorbed human genetic material, you didn't just take our DNA. You took our capacity for emotional connection." "I believe so, yes. But Zethkari don't have emotions. Your bodies literally don't know how to process feelings." "Correct. Which is why the human genetics are killing me. They are trying to build something my body has no framework for." Sarah turned to face him fully. "What if we're approaching this wrong? What if instead of trying to make your body accept human emotions, we help it build the framework first?" The commander's glowing eyes brightened with interest. "Explain. Human emotions aren't just mental. They're physical too. When we feel love, our hearts beat faster. When we're scared, our bodies release chemicals. When we touch someone we care about, our nervous systems create electrical connections." "You think human touch works because it shares these electrical connections?" "Exactly." Sarah felt excitement building. "When I touch you, my nervous system is literally teaching your body how to feel. But the lessons only last a few hours because your body has nowhere to store the information." The commander considered this. "So you believe we need to create permanent pathways for emotions in my physiology?" "Yes, but..." Sarah's excitement faded. "That would require major surgery. Rewiring your entire nervous system. I don't even know if it's possible." "What would happen to me?" Sarah looked at him honestly. "If it works, you would be permanently changed. Part human, part Zethkari. You would feel emotions for the rest of your life. And if it fails, you die, probably very painfully." The commander was quiet for several minutes. Finally, he asked, "What about the alternative? If we do nothing, you die anyway, and Earth dies with you." "Then we must try." Sarah felt the weight of responsibility crushing her. "Commander, I've never attempted surgery on an alien before. I don't understand your biology well enough. One mistaken, Dr. Chen. The commander interrupted gently. May I show you something? He led her to a different section of the ship. On the wall were hundreds of small screens, each showing different scenes from Earth. Sarah gasped as she recognized them. These are live feeds from your planet, the commander explained. This is what I have been watching for months. One screen showed a father teaching his daughter to ride a bicycle. Another showed an old woman feeding birds in a park. A third showed two friends hugging goodbye at an airport. Every scene shows humans connecting with each other, Sarah observed. Yes, and every time I watched, I felt something growing inside me. Something I now know was longing. The commander's voice became softer. Dr. Chen, I have been dying slowly ever since I first felt human emotion. Not from disease, but from isolation. My own people cannot understand what I have become. Sarah felt tears in her eyes. You're lonely. Profoundly. Your touch doesn't just heal my body. It reminds me that connection is possible. Sarah wiped her eyes and straightened her shoulders. Commander, if we're going to do this surgery, I'll need your complete trust. And I'll need to be connected to your nervous system during the operation. What does that mean? It means if you die, I probably die too. The commander stared at her. You would risk your life for someone you barely know? Someone from a different species? Sarah thought about her daughter Emma. About all the people on Earth who were counting on her. But most of all, she thought about the lonely alien standing beside her, who had learned to feel love and might die from it. Commander, 3 days ago I thought aliens were just science fiction. Now I'm about to perform surgery to give one of them a human heart. She managed a small smile. If that's not what humans do, I don't know what is. The commander's crystal face showed something Sarah was learning to recognize as gratitude. When do we begin? Sarah checked her watch. 24 hours left. The morning started like any other Tuesday in New York City. People rushed to work, cars honked in traffic, and Dr. Sarah Chen was getting ready for another day of surgery at Mount Sinai Hospital. Then the sky went dark. A shadow fell across the entire city. Sarah looked out her apartment window and gasped. Above them hung a massive ship. It was bigger than 10 city blocks, made of black metal that seemed to absorb light. Strange blue patterns pulsed along its surface like a heartbeat. Every phone in the city buzzed at the same time. The same message appeared on every screen. People of Earth, we need your help. Within minutes, the ship was on every news channel. Similar ships appeared over London, Tokyo, Moscow, and 50 other major cities. The world held its breath. Sarah's hands shook as she watched the news. The reporter's voice trembled as she spoke. The ships appeared exactly 30 minutes ago. They haven't fired any weapons, but our military confirms all missiles simply bounce off their shields. Then came the second message. This time it wasn't text. A voice spoke in perfect English, echoing from every speaker on Earth. We are the Zethkari. We come seeking help, not war. Send us your best human doctor. We will wait 12 hours, no more. The voice was deep, strange like wind blowing through metal caves. It made Sarah's skin crawl. President Martinez called an emergency meeting. Within 6 hours, world leaders had made their choice. They needed someone brilliant, brave, and experienced with impossible cases. The name that kept coming up was Dr. Sarah Chen. Sarah sat in the Pentagon surrounded by generals and politicians. Her mouth was dry. Why me? She asked. You've performed surgeries no one else could do, General Brooks explained. You saved that child with the rare heart condition last year. You operated on the car accident victim everyone said was hopeless. But this is an alien, Sarah whispered. Which is why we need our best, President Martinez said. Her eyes were kind but firm. Dr. Chen, we're not ordering you. We're asking, will you help us? Sarah looked around the room. She thought about her daughter Emma, only 8 years old, staying with her grandmother. She thought about all the people counting on her. Finally, she nodded. I'll do it. 2 hours later, Sarah stood on the roof of the Pentagon. The alien ship floated silently above them. A beam of blue light suddenly shot down, surrounding her. She felt weightless, like floating in warm water. Then everything went white. When her vision cleared, she was inside the ship. The walls were smooth and dark, covered in those same pulsing blue patterns. The air smelled like copper and rain. Strange humming sounds echoed from somewhere deep in the ship. Dr. Chen. The voice made her jump. She turned and saw something that made her legs weak. The alien stood 8 feet tall. Its body looked like it was carved from dark crystal, with veins of bright blue light running through it like electric blood. Its face was almost human-shaped but longer, with eyes that glowed like tiny suns. "I am Commander Zethkri," it said. Its voice was the same one that had spoken to Earth, but softer now. "Thank you for coming," Sarah found her voice. What do you need?" The commander took a step closer. Sarah noticed it moved carefully like someone in pain. The blue light in its veins flickered weakly. "Dr. Chen," the commander said, "I must ask something strange of you. Something that may frighten you. What is it?" The commander's glowing eyes met hers. "I insist you inspect my body. Touch me, examine me with your hands." "My life depends on it," Sarah's heart pounded. "I don't understand. Why do you need me to touch you?" "Your species has something we do not," the commander explained. "Something in your touch, your connection. We have studied you from afar, but now I need direct contact." Sarah stepped back. "This could be a trick. How do I know you won't hurt me?" "Because," the commander said, and its voice grew weaker, "if I die, my people will destroy your world." Before Sarah could respond, the commander's legs gave out. It crashed to the floor with a sound like breaking glass. The blue light in its body flickered faster like a dying light bulb. "You have 72 hours, the commander gasped. "If I die before then, our ships will fire automatically. It cannot be stopped." Sarah knelt beside the alien, her medical training taking over. She could see it was in terrible pain. The blue veins were fading to a dull gray. "I need to understand what's wrong with you," she said. "I need medical equipment, scans, blood samples." "We have equipment," the commander whispered. "But it cannot help. Only human touch can heal what is killing me." Sarah looked around the alien medical bay. Strange machines lined the walls, covered in buttons and displays she couldn't read. Everything was designed for beings much larger than humans. The commander's breathing was getting weaker. "Please, Dr. Chen, time is running short." Sarah stared at the dying alien. Above them, alien ships waited to destroy Earth. Below them, 8 billion people went about their lives, not knowing their fate rested in her hands. She had no idea how to save an alien life. She had no idea why her touch was supposed to help. But she was Earth's only hope. "All right," she said, reaching out slowly. "Let's begin." Sarah's hands trembled as she knelt beside Commander Zethkri. The alien's body was cold like stone, but the blue veins under its crystal skin pulsed with fading light. Every few seconds the light flickered weaker. 72 hours, she whispered to herself. "And then Earth dies." The commander's eyes opened slowly. They were getting dimmer too. "Dr. Chen, you must understand. My people are waiting. If my heart stops beating, our ships will fire automatically. Nothing can stop it." Sarah took a deep breath. She was a doctor. This was a patient. Alien or not, her job was to save lives. "Tell me what happened to you. When did you start feeling sick?" 3 days ago, the commander said. His voice was getting weaker. After I made contact with your species." "What kind of contact?" The commander tried to sit up but fell back down. "I studied your people closely. Too closely. I touched human objects. I breathed your air. I even absorbed some of your biological material." Sarah's eyes widened. "You absorbed human DNA?" "We had to understand you," the commander explained. "Your species was so different from anything we had seen. You fight wars but also save your enemies. You destroy your planet but also protect small animals. We needed to know why." 2 other aliens entered the medical bay. They looked similar to the commander, but smaller, with green light instead of blue running through their bodies. One of them spoke in a language that sounded like breaking glass. "These are my medical officers," the commander translated. "They say my condition is getting worse." Sarah looked at the alien medical equipment around her. None of it made sense. The screen showed symbols that looked like dancing lights. The machines hummed with sounds she had never heard. "Can you translate these readings for me?" she asked. One of the medical officers touched a panel. Suddenly, the alien symbols changed to English numbers and words. Sarah gasped at what she saw. The commander's body temperature was dropping fast. His blood pressure was almost 0. But strangest of all, the scans showed two different types of genetic material fighting inside his body. "This is incredible," Sarah said, studying the displays. "You have your original alien DNA, but there's also human genetic code mixed in. They're attacking each other like your body is rejecting a transplant." "That is why we need human touch," the commander said. "Our scientists believe human contact can somehow bridge the gap between our biologies." Sarah looked closer at the scans. The human DNA wasn't random. It seemed to be concentrated in the commander's brain and heart. "How exactly did you absorb human genetic material?" The commander's crystal face showed something that might have been embarrassment. I spent months watching your species. I wanted to understand your emotions, your connections. I touched items that humans had held. I studied your tears, your skin cells, but why?" Sarah asked. "Because 3 months ago we came here to destroy you," the commander admitted. "Your species uses too many resources. You fight too much. We thought you were dangerous." Sarah felt cold. "What changed your mind?" "You did," the commander whispered. "All of you. I watched a human mother save a drowning child who wasn't even her own. I saw soldiers share their food with enemies. I watched doctors work for days to save one life. We had never seen anything like it.